Hello everybody, this is Chatting with Chums. I am the Shadow1. I'm here with Kyler Nuva135, Shade 2800, Gap2671, and Fire4190. Thank you for joining us for our show. Oh, goddammit. How did I not expect that? Oh, wow. It's such a surprise to be interrupted by these fucking assholes.
We love you too.
I know, I love you, man. So today, Kyler has been really wanting to talk about a topic that we discussed like over a month ago. Kyler, you can tell the audience what we're going to be talking about.
Okay, so for you kids out there, we're going to be talking about Lego Bionicles, custom designs versus simple designs.
Talking to the young people here.
Yes, because unlike you assholes, I'm responsible.
You're responsible, my ass.
As many of you know, simple designs have been getting a bad rap because everyone loves making, custom Legos. And that's all fine and dandy, but I feel like they've kind of missed the point as to why we make simple Bionicles. For one, it's much better to animate, as I've learned from experience, as they are much lighter. Like, it's just an easier way to animate and, create your own videos.
There's obviously complicated MOCs. Follow Toa Jr. on Instagram.
Yeah, because I looked at one of Elira's MOCs. It was like a Hydra, and I'm looking at this and all the pictures she's taken. I'm like, this guy is in the same pose. For all of these pictures, it doesn't look like it can move at all. It's just a statue.
Yeah, I get that there are people out there that make statues of, Legos, and that's fine. But I'm just a person who likes to animate. But when I'm animating, say, custom MOCs, it's much difficult because they are much heavier and they tend to fall.
That's true. I mean, you can trust simple designs of characters, like the Inika Piraka design is modified as a MOC is like that.
In Shadow, you would know that because you've got a couple of really complicated MOCs yourself.
Yeah, I always feel like whenever someone makes a MOC, Inika and Piraka builds are always seem to be outlawed. Like those are frowned upon. Like
let's not forget some CBS, like if you just have the basic skeleton and the armor, Demon always said not a real MOC.
To be fair, that's been slammed beyond death.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen some MOCists who are able to do really cool designs with just simplistic build. Like, I remember watching one of Shadow Gear's podcasts and how he, talks about mocking and, look, do you like what you made? Good. Then it's a good MOC because you enjoyed it.
Exactly.
You like what you made. And I feel like that kind of goes against what TTV's the MOC showcase is, where they grade a MOC on how it looks. And I'm like,
there's more to it than that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. So it's like you can simple designs you can usually trust, especially when you're animating and using them for for scenes and for films. And then, but complex designs are way more difficult, because I know for a fact, when I filmed Zainam, his entire body, everything is custom about him, but he was a hell to animate. I had to change certain parts of him during filming so that he could stand up.
I think another of the hard things about complex builds is trying to fill in gaps. There's always a chance, if you're doing a complex build, you have to fill up all the empty spaces. I remember my last MOC, Mammoth, that I had to take a whole bunch of liberties and try to figure out it took a long time to figure out all the little details. So that's another difficulty. Not to mention, it used up a lot of part.
Yeah,
I felt the same experience too, because I have this MOC called a Rodef. It's like a female kind of Amazon MOC. I haven't showed it online yet, but that was I wanted to have a custom design to it, and I had to fill in a ton of gaps.
At least it forces you to be creative.
I feel like another reason people also been moving on to custom designs is so they don't get quote unquote stolen, because a lot of older designs have been overused by other people.
Yeah.
Well, there's also one of the reasons why I feel like people also use custom designs is because they want to have a certain look to their character that they can't get with a simple design. And I also know, when you're an animator and you want to have a custom build, one of the big essentials is, a waist joint. That's not something you can get with the standard Piraka and Inika builds. You can get it with, one of the Toa Uniter sets, because they have, those waist joints.
I remember, looking at, 2007 had some of the really good custom Bionicle sets with custom designs. Maxilos had a completely original torso design.
All the
Karzani turned.
2007 was basically the first time where everybody actually had a slightly different build and didn't have the same build.
Yeah,
The
thing I know is 2007 was probably the best year for all design, new design customs. Like Kadunka had a completely original design with 3 torsos. Karzani had 4 torsos to make up his body. I love that year.
Some builds were kind of awkward. Some of the stuff was a bit awkward, admittedly, but I give props for at least doing something different.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's nice. If you want to use simple designs, go right ahead. I'm not one to judge. I'm not I'm not a perfectionist. So I'm not going to be like, oh, use a Inika torso. You're a bad person.
I mean, I can sort of from my point of view when I started, and even now I don't see myself as a mockist or anything like that, but back when in 2009 I had my characters, and of course they looked horrible, not because they were badly built, it's just they had horrible color schemes. So when I updated them, I tried to make sure they actually had good color schemes, and I was quite happy with how most of them looked.
That's fine. It's not like it's Funhouse.
I think one reason why people are so against simple designs, I guess, is because when you do a complex design, it makes it seem like there's more effort being put into it. I mean, with my contest, I guess, try not to make 2 basic designs. Make sure you have at least some effort put into it. So even
basically,
I kind of follow
it's like this.
Some creativity in the design.
Make it your own. It's you shouldn't just create if you're making a new character, you shouldn't just make them look like another character that already exists.
Yeah, I agree with that. My biggest issue whenever I make a really big design or a complex design for a character, I'm I don't want to play with that character because I'm afraid of what might happen because I want to keep him perfect in that kind of condition. Vadak, I never like to touch anymore, except when I'm filming stop motion.
Yeah, that's another good point.
But then when I'm Volta and my other Bionicle characters from Salvation, they're simple designs. They're still slightly custom. They're all different from each other, but they're still simple, I'm fine with using those guys a lot because I can always replace their pieces with something else. But whereas Scar or those guys who have custom designs, I don't like to touch them because I'm afraid of what might happen.
Yeah.
I feel a bit obligated to try more custom designs because I just want to improve my mock making.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but you shouldn't be against simple designs if you're still comfortable with that.
I mean, you could do
one of the things I've never understood was I always see some arm designs you could easily just get with a simple CCBS piece, but no, they always got to have when I see some custom arm designs and it doesn't look as smooth. And you could easily just do it with a simple CCBS piece, but no, I want to do it this way for the sake of I want to be complex.
Yeah.
I
mean,
unless it's something that you can't do with that CCBS piece that doesn't look natural, then okay, that's good. If you could do it already with a simple one piece instead of just using up 7, I feel unless you have a lot of money behind you to pay for
to buy parts.
Yeah. That's the thing.
I mean, there are ways you can do simple and complex. One of my more recent mocks, Mayhem, is just basically Protector, just with lots of little details and a big. With pigtails, spikes, big hammer, so you can kind of do a decent combo of all that.
I mean, that's the thing, though. You don't have to use. You can use simple designs like the Piraka or Inika bodies and still have it be a part of a super custom.
Even if you use Metru bodies, that's fine.
Man, no one uses those anymore. It's
I've seen less use of Nuva bodies than Metru bodies, to be honest.
I used to use Nuva bodies for mocks all the time.
That's a big thick piece, and
I only use it for feet, to be honest.
Although to be quite honest, I'm probably one of those people who's probably been manipulated by the whole design. Because when Nuva body or the Toa Mana bodies came out, I used those constantly for mocks, and then the Metru bodies came out, but then I never used those for mocks, and then never used the Hordika bodies for mocks. Then I used obviously then the Piraka and Inika bodies came out, and then it's that's the default design. So I feel like I've been manipulated into using those ever since.
I guess it's because the Inika and Piraka ones allow for more options.
Yeah, they're more mobile and they're easier to play around with.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I kind of like how they kind of stuck with that one design. I can understand how some people would feel like it's repetitive, but at the very least, at least it didn't become outdated after the year was introduced.
I feel just with some mocks they could have done more creative styles. Akkar, he just sets Akkar, Gelu, they just feel kind of basic, like something you already got with 2006.
And then they did something different with Kina. They actually gave her a custom design.
That's why I got her. She was one of the only ones I got.
It was kind of hard to keep her together, to be honest.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just me.
Although one thing I've been doing lately, I've been rebuilding a lot of my old Bionicle sets, and I just realized Gali does have the old Gali Mata has breast.
Yeah, that one hand piece.
Yeah, it was right on the chest. I'm like, that's breast. So even back in 2001, Bionicle creators were still aware that they were making a female, just like Rudaka.
Is it just me, or did Gali Nuva's mask kind of look like a gorilla? I mean, when I was a kid, I thought I looked a bit like a gorilla.
You're not wrong. I agree with that statement. I agree.
Hairs.
Looks like a pig.
Kyler doesn't want to go into this. He doesn't want to go off topic of his custom versus.
Stop back to the MOCs.
When it comes to like upgrading MOCs, I see some people be like, "Your MOC is like so simple. Why ever you change it?" I'm like, "Well, maybe I like him the way he is.
Maybe it's perfect." Yeah.
Maybe like the only reason I would ever like update my self MOC to Koro is just to like give him more like arm movement, like more arm range.
I feel like I should upgrade my self MOC at some point. Not to mention, I upgraded my sister's self MOC, and now she's taller than me, so I kind of feel obligated now.
That's creepy.
The one time
I also remember something like Dracus360 said, like he makes his MOCs the way they are just for like if it represents their character well. Like if his character's like if he wants a simple design and it fits that character, then he's totally fine with it.
Yeah, and also people like Scott TJG used to do that.
Yeah.
I missed that guy.
Good time.
So do I.
We're still around, guys. We're still here.
I'm still around, but I don't do
Well, at least until the real world sucks us in.
Unfortunately.
I don't know how much longer I'll be able to do this crap.
Me too, man. I know. It's a brutal world. It really is.
Don't worry. At some point, we'll all die.
Hey, but we're going to keep it up. We're going to keep up doing what we love. We're going to keep making stories. We're going to keep making videos because that's what we do. We're dedicated, mother thoughers. Yeah.
I feel like at the end of the day with this MOC thing, I feel like you should just don't demonize someone, a MOCist, just for like if they want to do simple like designs. Like don't demonize them for using a Nika builds.
I agree with that. It's like don't be prejudiced against other people.
Not everything needs to be custom.
Yeah,
and also not everyone can afford Bionicle pieces.
Yeah, not everyone. Yeah, you're right. Not everyone is
especially considering the fact that we don't have a lot more CCBS sets out nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyler, you wrap up the episode.
Okay. Fuck you!
Oh.
No, I will not have sex with you, Kyler.
No, get away. So in all seriousness, thanks for watching, and I hope you all understand that there's nothing wrong building simple MOCs.
And this was a completely pointless topic. Thank you.
Yes, it was. Thank you for joining, everyone. Bye.
I don't know about you, but I thought this was a very insightful topic.
Yeah, let the youngins learn.
Yeah,
this deserves more views.
Yeah.
Hey, if anything, just make the MOC look good, have a decent color,
it deserves more
and bada boom, you're done.
Yes, and it deserves more views than Shadow One's top 10s.
Oh.
360 no scope.
You know what? I was gonna be like, fuck all of you, and then he said 360 no scope. I'm like, yep, okay, that's good.